Right.
At least we get the information.
Right.
So we will pass that along as we get it. In the meantime, Nik Bonitto was one of the guys that stepped to the podium yesterday. And I want to ask you this question, and I want to get Broncos' opinion on it as well. When it comes to paying Nik Bonitto, I don't know anybody that's saying no. You don't pay Nik Bonitto right now. A double-digit sack guy a year ago. We all project him to be a double-digit sack guy for the foreseeable future. But we hold Nik Bonitto, we put him on a certain pedestal because he's our guy.
Yeah.
He's rocking the orange and blue. He was a stud a year ago. If you're George Payton and you're having these meetings with Nick's agent, who happens to be Patrick's agent as well, PS2's agent, what's the other side of that? Because that's something that we always talk about in contract negotiations. Well, hopefully you're not too sensitive because they're going to come to the table with some things that you don't do well to try to save some money on their end. And that's when, it's a beautiful thing to have leverage, and you don't get it a lot in life. When you do, use the hell out of it. What's the leverage on George's side? Really the only thing I could think of is star power not being enough on the national level for a guy like Nik Bonitto yet. You can't put TJ Watt and Nik Bonitto in the same sentence right now.
Right.
Maybe you can after this year, but right now you can't. And I think that might be the only thing that the Broncos have over Nick.
Yeah, that's about the only thing. He's not Max Crosby.
Or Max, there we go.
He's not TJ Watt. He's not on that level of edge defender, but he's that next level of edge defender. And you look at like a George Karlaftis deal, which happened with the Chiefs just a month ago or whatever the number is. Is he around that? I think Karlaftis is better as a run defender, not as good as a pass rusher. How much do you covet pass rushing? You need it. Even if you're the Broncos, you've got like 6 guys that can get after the quarterback, 5 now with Johnny Walker down. But still, like, you've got a depth at the edge position. You definitely can get after the quarterback, but you want those waves. Nik Bonitto is the first wave. He's the best wave. You're not going to replace Nik Bonitto and have someone that's better right now. Maybe Jonah Ellis later is, but not this year. Not right now, and the deal needs to be done right now. So it's a timing thing. The timing of Nik Bonitto is pretty good for Bonito, because if it was next year and Ellis had already taken that step and they're like, okay, well, we're just going to go with Jonah. Right now you can't make that decision if you're the Broncos. So the leverage that you have is that you're not an elite level run defender. My counter to that as Nik Bonitto's faux agent is that I just go, you're not paying him to stuff the run. You're going to be fine against the run, hopefully.
Then you say, hey, you got run stuffers. That's not his job on this team.
Right. What about the defensive line? What about your new linebackers, right? He's going to do a better job, and that's what he's done. The great thing about Nik Bonitto is where he came into the league compared to where he's at now. Where he came into the league was a guy that had a couple of moves, definitely played like his hair was on fire, had no idea how to stack moves, was incredibly weak against the run, but was just like a freak athlete with a couple of moves, didn't know how to stack them yet. In year 2, he started to get it. In year 3, he started to really put things together. So if you look at Nik Bonitto, you go, okay, well, what's next? He's not an elite level run defender now. What about in a year? How does that look? Have we seen the best of Nik Bonitto? No. Is he closer to his ceiling? Yeah, perhaps. But as a run defender, I can't say he's never going to improve. Mm-hmm. He has improved. He's improved drastically just in a couple of years with the Broncos. So why not afford the opportunity for him to continue to rush the passer and to continue to work on his game?
And I mean, look, in a perfect world, you have both, right? And you do got that a little bit with Jonathan Cooper. But if you're Nik Bonitto, for example, you're him, and you go, I'm going to specialize in something at the NFL level. I think being a sack master, a guy that's getting you double-digit sacks, pretty good thing to specialize in.
Yeah.
And then add more tools to your bag of stopping the run. Maybe you add a little bit of coverage ability, although they're not going to ask him to do that much, but there are times where it just ends up as so. So if you had to pick one lane to master, pick the right one to get going, get that payday. And he's also thinking about this. This is something I would be saying to him if I'm his agent. All right, you've picked the right lane to really have a good look at it. You're going to get paid a lot of money for those double-digit sacks that you're capable of for the foreseeable future. But don't just get fat and happy with this one bag. Continue to be dominant as a pass rusher. Add elements to your game, like we're saying, as a guy that can handle his own in the run game. And then when you're 30 years old, instead of going, damn, I already got my big payday, you get to go back to the negotiating table and say, still a double-digit sack guy, and they can't run at my side of the defensive line.
Right.
Then now you have even more leverage to get yourself that, what would be his final payday.
Yeah, well, and look at Von Miller and how many paydays he's had. Not now.
Yeah.
But look at that Buffalo payday.
But he's still hanging around.
Right.
And he's on a team that has Super Bowl aspirations.
Right, exactly. So if you're Nik Bonitto, you can follow that trend. How was Von better? Von was better against the run. And he wasn't in a stuffy type of way of like, I'm just going to shut it down. As I've often mentioned, he'd chase plays down and he'd trip some guy up or he'd hold his own and he would make sure that the play went inside of him. Von Miller was just, just a little better. I'm not saying a ton better as a run defender, but he was just a little better enough that it wasn't a liability. Bonito takes that step. This is his first of multiple big paydays. And it's his first and maybe his smallest of the quote-unquote big paydays because it's going to be, $24 million a year.
Yeah.
$25 million a year. Whatever that number is, I know it's not an exorbitant amount, comparatively speaking, to your TJ Watts, to your Max Crosbys. We have pass rushers that are $40 million a year guys. Nik Bonitto's not on that level. So get him paid, get this thing sewn up. Bonito seems very confident it's going to happen.
Let me ask you this, because I've made it clear my stance is I wait till the bye week to pay Nik Bonitto, ensure that he's at double-digit sacks. I feel good about that.
Yeah.
But I want to see it again. What if that's week 12 bye? What if he's got 12 sacks? Does that number get closer to 40 then?
Yeah. Well, and
I mean, it's not 25 then.
The leverage that you have is, as the agent, you could say we're not negotiating in the regular season. You can pay him now before September 7th.
Oh, his agent says that. Yeah. Then you're really betting on Bonito.
And then you're betting on yourself, and it's what Courtland Sutton did. Hey, can I get a raise? No. Here's some incentives. He got them all. If Nik Bonitto bets on himself and wins, now it starts with a 3, not a 2. Right now, his number each year starts with a 2. Next year, if he gets, let's say, 15 sacks, and he's a little bit better against the run, now he's a $30 million a year guy. So you just cost yourself more money. What is the old saying, which is really weird, like you cut off your nose to spite your face?
Yeah, in spite of your face or something like that.
To spite your face, you're mad at your face or
Yeah.
something? Yeah, it's weird. Cop talk's weird. But guess what? If you're Nik Bonitto, that's your leverage of like, yeah, I'm just going to bet on myself, and then it's really going to cost you money. And by the way, you might lose him then. Feelings get hurt. Basically, at the end of the day, with these alpha males, right? Mark Schlereth, Brandon Stokely, Philip Lindsay, the alpha males, do you know what they really want at the end of the day? It's like the dude in, Wedding Singer? He wears the Michael Jackson outfit.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like, you
yeah.
were the badass, man. You're like, actually, I just want someone to tell me that they love me and give me a hug.
Yeah.
That's
He's the limo driver?
Yeah.
yeah.
So Stink is the limo driver. Stokely is the limo driver. Philip, can you see over the wheel? He's the limo driver, right? That's those. All they want to know is that they're loved. Hey, love me up. And you know how you tell an NFL player you love him?
You pay him. You pay him big time money. Nik talked about it. What?
Sounds so bad. How do you show him you love him? You pay him. Leave the money on the dresser. Yeah, but
that works with the NFL players and another world.
That's the NFL world, right? Show Nik Bonitto you love him. Pay the man. And I believe they will.
Yeah, my friend Gavin lives in another world there in Las Vegas. He's always paying. Always paying. Nik Bonitto did meet the media yesterday. Hey, Nik, how are contract talks going with you and the team?
Yeah, I mean, they're going well. I feel like there's been good communication on both sides. I think, it's just my agent. I feel like he's one of the best in the game. I feel like I got to trust what he's doing, and knowing how they feel about me upstairs, I feel like something will get done, but it's just a matter of when. And, until then, I just got to keep doing me.
All right, he sounds pretty confident that something's going to get done. Really no sweat off of his back is kind of how he's coming across. He was also asked, did the team show more effort, initiative to talk with you guys after Court and Zach got their deals done?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they've pretty much, through the whole process, kept me, priority, knowing, they want to extend me, they want me here. It's just about, when they want to get it done and when, we're ready. So.
And again, he's saying when they want to get it done, when we're ready. It's almost, for a dude that had double-digit sacks is on the verge of the biggest payday he's going to get, it's a credit to him in my mind. There's no sense of urgency or I'm nervous about this energy out of Nik Bonitto.
No, not at all. Very relaxed, not doing a hold in, and as relaxed as he was a month ago when he had a football camp. And he was asked then about the contract, and he's just super chill, super laid back. But Nik Bonitto is one of those guys. He has a switch that can be flipped. And he goes from real nice guy, real chill, to absolute just menace on the football field. And when he flips that switch, you're wetting your pants on the other side.
Look the hell out.
He wore the brown pants.
Last one from Nik Bonitto. He was asked about the Micah Parsons situation. Is he interested in waiting to see how that plays out before his big payday?
Honestly, that's up to my agent. I kind of just leave that up to him. He brings me with ideas, and I just yes or no, but I don't really have no preference.
I mean, of course, if you're the agent, you're like, hey, situation here in Dallas that he's going to get close to that $40 million mark, probably north of that $40 million mark, and every new deal resets the market, which is obviously a good situation for the player that is up next, and it would be Nik Bonitto in this instance. I don't really know. We're going to talk about the Parsons things a little bit later, but that thing could go on forever. I don't know that if you're Bonito, as I said, I wait till the bye week, but his agent and the player certainly do not want to do that. That thing could go on forever. Yeah. I wouldn't be sitting around waiting for that if I were the agent.
No, this is the type of thing. It's easiest deal to put together in the history of Earth. It's just going to take the right timing, and the timing is about a week from now. What is it, the 20th? The 27th, Nik Bonitto signed. I would say that. That's not a bold take. It's not a hot take. It's just, okay, let's get around September 1st. Let's get this thing done. Come on. We know that Greg Penner is a great businessman. We know that George Payton has done a fine job as general manager. Rich Hurtado there running the books for the Broncos. Yeah, it's easy to get this thing done. Find the number. Get to the number. He's doing everything that you need him to do. Much like Courtland Sutton, much like Zach Allen. You've got guys that aren't raising a stink. They're showing up. They're putting in the work. I know Sutton had the little hold-in thing, whatever. He negotiated with them last year. Effectively, Courtland Sutton's negotiation was the 2024 season.
Yeah.
So now it's Nik Bonitto's turn. And I understand it's not your turn. Don't wait your turn. But in terms of doing the books for the Broncos, you know you got to pay Bonito or you're going to lose him. You don't lose guys that are that good.
No, you don't.
You pay them. You pay to keep them around. And here's the dirty secret in the NFL. It's actually not fit this time.
Oh, wow.
This is much like corporations, and this one's I'll do the Martin Lawrence, like this is gonna hurt a little bit.
This will sting.
They always have the money for all of us and everything that we do. Yeah. Every single one of us, you're listening to my voice, your boss says, oh, our budget, hey, we don't have any money. They have the money. It's a matter of,
do they want to spend it on you?
Do they want to spend it on you? That's the point. The Broncos have the money. Do they want to spend it on Nik Bonitto? I believe the answer will be yes.
Yeah. That's why you better check yourself before you start talking about work family and all that stuff. Because they do have the money.
Yeah, well, we got our budget. Oh, forget your budget. I know your budget. There's no budget.
Although I guess my dad did tell me about budgets a lot of like, no, you're not getting those shoes. That doesn't fit in the budget, you idiot. So there was a lot of that going on in my house.
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
All right, I want to check the text line before we hear from Damian Woody on our Don't Be That Guy Wednesday. Before we do that, I got to tell you about the fan golf tournament. It's right around the corner, guys. It's going to benefit the Arthritis Foundation of Colorado. It's going down on Monday, August 25th, 1:30 start time at the club at Inverness. Do not miss this 4-person scramble followed by some dinner, an award show, and a live auction with all proceeds benefiting the Arthritis Foundation of Colorado. You got to book your foursome now at denversports.com/club, denversports.com/club. You know what I'd like? I'd love for somebody to sign up right now, listening to our show, then win that thing, and then call us next week and tell us how much they kicked everybody else's ass.
I'd love that.
I would love that. So go win that thing right here from our show, the fan golf tournament benefiting the Arthritis Foundation.
It's on the internet, so it may or may not be true, and it's from Dove? Who's that guy? The fake guy? Yeah.
Doug Kleiman? I don't know.
Yeah,
Kleiman.
So now he's reporting the Raiders, and this is from a Raiders beat writer.
He actually doesn't report anything.
Right. So some Raiders beat writer said that he's heard in conversations with an NFL executive, I was informed, I have no doubt the Raiders are front runners for Trey Hendrickson.
Wow.
Mother blank. Again,
Cincinnati said they want a young star player and a first-round draft.
Right.
Who do they ship back?
Well, they wouldn't send him Bowers, and they wouldn't send him Ginty, and they don't have anybody else.
Yeah, they're out of stars.
Want to take Geno?
Yeah, there you go.
But if that's the case, again, it's the internet.
Bengals are so stupid.
It's rumbling, it's rumors. Did you see Joe Burrow getting thrown around like a rag doll in a preseason game? All right.
Maybe I don't pick Jamar Chase with the number 1 overall pick.
I would say if your heart is saying Jahmyr Gibbs, because honestly it's 6 in one hand, half dozen the other. If your heart is going with Gibbs, I always tell people, I'm going to tell you something, but if you feel differently, go with what you feel.
See, my research tells me Jamar Chase, but my heart does say Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay, then go with Gibbs.
Okay.
Because if Hendrickson goes to the Raiders, I hate that one. I don't care about Cincinnati, but I hate that Hendrickson would be here like getting after Bo Nix for the Raiders. I hate the Raiders.
That makes me really nervous.
Yeah, I don't like that. Again, it's Dove, whatever, fake guy, whatever. Just let's put a pin in that. It just came across the wire.
You think about that defense, a young Brock Bowers, a young Ashton Genty. I'm not a Geno Smith guy. I know people want to go to bat for him, but go ahead. I'm not going to do it. But they're a quarterback away from being a